Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde Rock and Roll musical was nominated for Best Song Score alongside A Mighty Wind, Phil Collins, Brother Bear, Carly Simon, and The School of Rock, and was named Best Feature Film in Great Britain's Fantastic Film Festival.
In New York State's B-Movie Film Festival, Jekyll and Hyde was awarded Best Cinematography and Best Music Score.
In Hollywood's Scarefest, it was a Best Feature finalist.
Also selected for the Valley Film Festival, the movie screened on Halloween night at the Grand El Portal Theater in North Hollywood's Art District.
Cinescape magazine's Mania Fest, held at Laemmle's Monica Theater and Governor Schwarzenegger's Schatzi on Main, honored the rock and roll musical as an official selection and finalist.
Shown here with Alan Bernhoft, Stuart Gordon, Eli Roth, Anthony Ferrante, and Toby Hooper all exhibited at Mania Fest.
Print advertising supported screenings with Cinescape magazine's Mania Fest, as well as the Valley Film Festival in NoHo LA magazine, praising the film in a review.
What's original about the movie, no doubt, is the musical score and cinematography, which garnered awards at the B-Movie Film Festival in New York. Bernhoft is a triple threat talent here, carrying the movie effortlessly with his acting and singing abilities. Midnight screenings at Laemmle's Sunset 5 at Crescent Heights in Hollywood were reviewed positively by FilmThreat.com, saying,
"It's a refreshing take on an old story. It recalls classic horror films, while at the same time paying homage to the twilight years of the Hollywood musical."
And what emerges is a fierce and funny indie that takes place in sunny LA.
We wound up making it ourselves because we got so far along into the project that we decided to keep control, and we wanted to do it. It was too much fun not to do.
The Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde Rock and Roll musical here at the beautiful Laemmle 5 in West Hollywood.
I like the montage editing, very psychedelic, good time.
Well, the film was crazy and insane, like every rock and roll musical should be.
It was a lot of fun.
My name is Eduardo Diamante.
Eduardo, did you have fun with the film?
I enjoyed it so much.
My favorite parts were actually some of the editing, some of the builds during the climactic scenes where he's freaking out.
I get the feeling this is kind of like a Rocky Horror Picture Show cult film.
Well, that's what I think it has the potential of. It's a kind of a picture that could be another. I used to go to Rocky Horror when in New York.
The music was really astounding, actually.
It's a poem on, like a visual poem.
My favorite part of the film had to have been the bar scene with the rock and roll, with the chicks and everything.
She had just done the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and it was just a little B movie. She didn't think anything of it, and it turns out to be a cult classic. Susan Sarandon was in it. She did her first Broadway show with me. In fact, I have a poster at home, the only poster you ever see where I get billing over Susan Sarandon.
What's your character's name?
Inspector McCreed. This is the kind of a thing, because there's a campy quality to this movie, which could, I think that's the point.
I think it's kind of funny that you work with Susan Sarandon, who did that film, and now you're in your own campy horror.
I think Andre and Alan know about that. I could become a staple of the midnight movie.
It's got certain excitement that hits you pretty deeply.
It really touched me on a deep level because the truth is I identify with Dr. Jekyll.
I was really impressed with the way it looked.
It is a humorous picture, and yet it's a little bizarre.
The whole cast was excellent, and the beautiful girls.
It's kind of violent here and there, which kind of catches you off guard, but it's also got some comedy.
It's like a fun romp. Any advice to Hyde?
To Hyde? Lay off the sauce.
They outdid themselves, honestly.
It's just terrific. It's really wonderful. The songs are great. You should be making lots of movies. Astonishing cinematography.
Music Connection magazine published press releases and screening news, including a press conference with Andre Champagne and Alan Bernhoft at the American Film Market.
The soundtrack was reviewed on cultcuts.com, and the United Kingdom's Horror Asylum website ran articles, as did Fangoria here in the United States. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer HAL Blaine is the movie's music consultant.
So here we are back with the rock and roll version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, one of the classic stories. It was great fun for all of us. And then I went to either the first or second screening, and I actually got a great big round of applause when they saw my name in the credits. You know, I've been on 10 million movies, soundtracks, and 4 of them got Oscars, as a matter of fact. But the stuff that I heard when I went to the screening that time, I heard some wonderful stuff and did one heck of a job when I saw the finished product. The pacing of the film, everything just was really wonderful. The thing about Alan is first of all, I know that he's a major Beatles fan. And I was very fortunate to have worked not with the Beatles, but with the Beatles individually. But I know Alan is a Beach Boy fan, and I did practically all the Beach Boys records. And just music of the 60s, 70s, 80s, Alan has got that stuff down.
Hal Blaine is a role model for how someone should be in the studio. He respects and loves people. He knows what to do. Every time we shot in that lab, it seemed to inch higher. And there was definitely a mystery going on there, and almost something automatic. Hyde has got a relationship with the color green in this movie, and the green is the evil. He's got a grimy feeling, and the grimy feeling comes from a little bit of grime in the picture. And that's a big secret to reveal there. As if Hyde was so evil that he affected the film. There are some very standard things in this movie, something a little bit old-fashioned, like the Hitchcock of the 60s, or even a little bit of Disney. And then you get something that is outside of the formula that you think this film is. There's the little bits of a lot of movie styles in there, but in the lighting and the cinematography that I wanted to present, you know, and mock a little bit, give a flavor, like the scenes that you've seen a little bit before.